Hello everybody, it's Aaron. Welcome to another episode of Feed the Beast. I'm pretty excited today. I added a mod to the pack, and there's not a lot of documentation on this mod, if any. And when I searched for it on YouTube, all I found were videos in foreign languages. So this isn't really meant to be a tutorial per se. However, I'm going to share with you what I've learned about this mod. And the mod is Quarry Plus. And it adds some things to the mod pack. So I'm going to have to get out the assembly table and set it up because the things we're going to need to make, we're going to need to make the Quarry Plus. You can see the recipe here. This is all done in the assembly table. So I'm going to need to make a couple of these, some yellow pipe wire. And I already have the quarry. We're going to need to make the pump plus. So I'm going to have to make all this stuff. And probably some markers as well. And then the EnchantMover, I'm going to have to make a bunch more lasers, another assembly table, advanced crafting table, anvil, and enchantment table. So I'm going to do all that, and I'm not going to bore you with it because it takes a long time to craft these chipsets, especially since I only have 4 lasers. That's kind of a problem for us. So before we get to that, I suppose, I swapped out where the redwood roots were, and I changed it to those quarried stone bricks and kind of made a little path from the front door in. And then I made 2 walkways to the back room. And I moved the molecular assembler chamber down into the floor. And I glassed in the skeleton spawner. Kind of a decoration. It's off center though. Some of you guys are going to have a problem with that. So I apologize in advance. I know how people get when things don't line up just right. Real quick, before we do that, I suppose I can do something that I wanted to do. Let me make a fuzzy export bus. I think I have, yep, some diamond processors. What I like to do is set a fuzzy export bus on the molecular assembler chamber. We'll just put it right there. And I actually like to put an encoded pattern in it, so that if we set the rule, anything we dump into the ME system, it's going to end up back in the molecular assembler chamber. Now this will only work for encoded patterns. It will not work for the unencoded patterns. So if we look in here, these 2 spots are still empty, but they showed up right here because it took it out of the ME system and put it in here. So I really like to do that, so when I make a pattern, I don't have to go down to the molecular assembler chamber. I can just dump it into the ME network, and then it ends up in there on its own. So I don't know where I want to put this overall, but since we only have 4 lasers, what I'll do is I'll just put it right here because I just need to get the thing working. We pop down our assembly table, and it's not a bad idea to put a chest next to that thing as well. A regular chest, not a trapped one. And I'm going to go ahead and get the diamonds and redstone cooking. And I'll do 10. I think I'm going to need, what do I need? 2 for that, none for that, 4 for that. I'll go ahead and make 10. Just in case there was something I didn't notice that I needed them for. So I'm going to cook all these things up, and then we'll come back and we'll take a look at what I had learned in my brief experience testing out the Quarry Plus and the Pump Plus. And this is going to take a while. You see the total MJ, what's that? 80,000. and I'm only getting 16 a tick. So I'll tell you what, we can probably actually, let's make 4 more lasers, because at least we can double the speed. We have plenty of diamonds, so that's not an issue. Of course, plenty of redstone and obsidian is really not hard to come by once you've run a couple of quarries. So I guess we'll make 6 more. We have plenty of power for this. So hopefully this speeds it up significantly. 40 MJ, that's much better. We have 5 biofuel generators, which is, what's that, about 80 MJ per tick. We're giving about 15 or so to the ME. So that's not bad at all. So I'm going to let that cook up. I'll be back in a moment with a Quarry Plus and a Pump Plus and some landmarks or marker pluses, whatever. And then we'll go to the new quarry age I generated, which I didn't intend this. It's an ocean world. I really just wanted to not have to worry about lava or anything. I figured I'd just run the quarries over the ocean. But it's going to be a good demonstration, because when you put the pump on top of the quarry, it actually will drain all the water out of it, which is pretty nice. It does the same for lava though, so you have to be careful of that. So I will see you guys in just a moment. Welcome back, guys. We're just about done here. This took a really long time. Apparently it takes 4 golden chipsets to make the marker plus, to make each one. I didn't account for that. So here's what I'm going to do. In the interest of saving time, I'm going to give myself 3 for a total of 4. The gold chipset, it's 4 gold and 1 redstone. So I'm going to take a stack of redstone and a stack of gold and throw it away. Just because that literally took probably 45 minutes just to make these 3 things plus the markers. One thing I did forget before was that I had a lot of problems getting the mod to work. So if you're interested, leave me a comment. I'll put my config file up for download along with the version of the mod that I'm using, because I had to go ask on Reddit to see if anyone else was using it, because I couldn't get it to work. So these marker pluses you definitely do not want to lose, just because they're so expensive and they take so much energy. So I'm going to bring a diamond chest just to demonstrate something. And let's go do this. This is the new world I made. I tried to make an ocean world with glowstone and nether quartz. I messed up and I picked netherrack instead. So this is an always day Mistcraft age with an ocean biome. There are a couple of islands, which is just fine. Not a problem for me. But let me just pick this up for a second. So, I haven't messed with the landmarks yet. Let me get out my angel blocks. So I have a feeling we're going to need a couple of them. And before we do this, what we need to do is, we need to throw down the EnchantMover. And what this does is it lets you take an enchantment from a pick and put it on the quarry. I don't know if it works for books. We're about to find out. It doesn't look like it does. But I can put the pick in there, and then I can tell it what I want to go to the quarry. I think it's supposed to take it off the pick, but when I tried it earlier, it didn't. So I want to give it fortune for sure, unbreaking, and efficiency. Now you see that the quarry has these three things. I was hoping to get fortune 3 on there, but I can always do that off a pick later. And I don't remember what the durability was on the pick. It may have taken some durability, but like I said, I think that it's supposed to remove the enchantments, but it doesn't actually remove the enchantments. So I don't know if that's intended or not. So either way, let's take this guy, and our quarry goes right here. So we'll power this thing. I believe this will go 256 blocks. So you can make a pretty big quarry. I'm not going to go that far just because for testing purposes, I don't really think it's necessary. But I think that's how far it will go. So we'll just run it like this, and we'll put the things down. I'm going to assume that you just click these landmarks like normal landmarks. Yep, there we go. A huge area. We throw down the quarry. And it looks like I may have lost the marker. I had 4, now I only have 3. That one looks like it's gone also. So I think it actually eats the marker pluses, which is not a huge deal. I mean, it's just the cost of running a quarry that is bigger than 64 by 64. I don't think it threw up a message about the chunks being loaded. So I'm also going to assume that the chunks stay loaded. But the one cool thing I did notice about this was that when the thing starts going, if you don't have a chest on it, it does not spew items out onto the ground like a normal quarry does. And I'll demonstrate that momentarily. It looks like it's going already. So you notice nothing is flying all over the place. If I throw down the chest, look at all the stuff. Oh, look, it got the markers for me. And apparently it keeps all of the glowstone that it takes when the thing clears the area. So that's good. It looks like it did the same for the chest and whatever else I dropped. So it's actually storing those items. So if we put our Tesseract back down, all of that stuff should go into the ME network. I had 1 diamond chest in the system, so if we have 2, we know it worked. Additionally, if you put down the pump plus next to it, you see that thing turned blue, that little thing turned blue, and that turned green. It'll actually remove the liquid as the quarry arm goes through. I don't know where the quarry arm is, and I may have actually killed it. I've never tried it on an area this big, so it may take a minute to go. What normally happens is when it hits the water, it will throw down the orange quarry frame, and it will go straight down, and then it'll actually evaporate all the water. But on an area this big, like I said, it might take a minute, or I may have crashed the server since I am playing on the server in my spare bedroom. So maybe if I just remove that, then it keeps going. So this actually may need to go on top of the quarry. That's where I put it before. I never tried it next to it. So let's put it on top. We'll see what happens. There it is. So obviously that has to go on top of the quarry, or it's not going to do any good. It's going to go a lot more slowly now because only one engine got to it. Or maybe it didn't matter. I don't know. I think I broke it, guys. Oh, let's get out of here. Normally, if you whack a quarry, it'll reset it. In this, it resets automatically, and the little quarry arm goes back to the default position. So it may just be having trouble calculating how much water there actually is to remove. When I tested this, it was with a default size quarry with, what is it, 15 by 15 or something like that. So it only took it about 3 seconds, and it just it threw down the orange guards, and then it took away all the liquid. So hopefully the issue is just that there's so much water. Let me relog, see if that helps the problem. I don't know if it will or not. Apparently not. So what I'll do to demonstrate this, I will take it up and I'll just replace it with the default dimensions. And then we'll see how it goes. Hopefully it picked that up. So we'll put the pump plus back on top of the quarry. And when it hits water in just a second, we should see how it reacts. Yeah, see, that's what it does to water normally. So I probably just messed it up because I'm quarrying over an ocean. So for this world, I will most likely use a regular quarry, but otherwise I'm going to use the Quarry Plus and run larger quarries so I don't have to set them as often. So it's pretty cool. I believe the efficiency makes it work a little faster, since you can put efficiency on it, but I don't think the unbreaking really does anything. But there it goes. So if for nothing else, it's pretty good for liquids. It'll do the same thing like the little orange tape or whatever, the orange frame for lava. So if you have lava down in your quarry, it'll rope it off if it's coming in from the side, and it will delete it when the arm goes over it. So let's go home, check and see if we have 2 diamond chests in there, because I believe that's what happened. I did not know that it did that from the stuff it cleared. You know, a normal quarry, you just lose it. Apparently these quarries keep it. So that's very nice. Yep, 2 diamond chests. So it did, and it also got the enchanter, or the EnchantMover. So like I said, very little documentation, if any, on this mod. I did figure out enough to run a quarry and suck the liquid out. Obviously it did not work on the ocean. I just think it's too much for even that thing to do. So if you are interested in this, let me know. I'll try to post the version that I'm using in the description, and if you want the config, let me know, and I'll put it on Dropbox or something. All I had to do is change the item IDs because there was a conflict, so it was actually pretty easy to do. The hardest thing was getting the correct version to work with Unleashed 1.1.3, which is what I'm playing. So sorry that was a bit rocky setting up the quarry. I'd never tried it on one that size, but I think it's going to work out pretty well overall. I'm really just excited that I could put fortune from a pick on a quarry. So I'm going to make a fortune 3 pick with this book, efficiency 3 as well. And when that quarry's done, I'll put them on there, and then hopefully I will profit. So let me know if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, etc. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.